Hey everybody, so today this video is going to be about bicycle repair stands and just a few tips on how to effectively use them and such. So I was watching this video the other day. There was a pretty well-known YouTuber that does bicycle repair tutorials and things like that, and he was building up an older Cannondale mountain bike, and one of the things that kind of caught my attention right off was that he was clamping the frame, or using a stand and clamping on the top tube of the frame. And so I'm sure a lot of you are like, oh, it's whatever, you know. And so I mean, for me, it's kind of a big pet peeve, just from working in the bike industry for many years. And so you may be saying to yourself, you know, so what's the big deal? I've got a CAD 4 Cannondale that I've been working on for 10 years, and I've clamped it on the top tube and never had an issue. And so, you know, that's all fine and good. If it works for you, that's great. I'm just coming from the perspective of, you know, I've had to deal with telling a customer that their decal got scratched off, you know, their Columbus tubing decal off there. So if you clamp the bike in the repair stand from, you know, either the top tube or the seat tube or the top tube, it's not so much the pressure. Sometimes the pressure, if it's a really thin-walled, especially aluminum tube, just the, you know, if you're really wrenching on the bike, putting in a bottom bracket or trying to break something loose, you know, it can actually dent the tube there. But the most damage is, you know, I see they get clamped, a stand will get clamped here, and it just, you know, twists, and it can, if there's any decals that are, you know, tubing decals or whatever, it can really just scratch the frame up there. You know, I've actually seen some that have been dented here just because this tubing is so much thinner than the thickness of a seat tube there. Anyway, that's I just kind of cringe anytime I see that, or, you know, having to train a new mechanic and they clamp it from there, and either which way. But anyway, so I commented on the video saying that you should generally always clamp the bike by the seat post, if at all possible. That should be your first option always. And anyway, so he replied back that he doesn't like to clamp it there because he just has a portable stand like this one, and it kind of throws the balance off and makes the bike want to tip over, etc. And so you know, he also said that he had it clamped pretty loosely. So, you know, I guess my gripe with it is that if somebody doesn't know any better, nobody's ever told them that you could damage your bike by clamping it onto the frame. You know, I'm just trying to give some tough love, you know, and tell somebody that, you know, doesn't ever have to have the thing of, well, nobody ever told me that you could damage your bike this way. So that's the angle that I'm going with there. So always try to clamp your bike from the seat post there. So anyway, just going back to stands and kind of some, you know, ways to use them to make things more effective and such. So if you're looking at purchasing a repair stand, some of the things, you know, I know I've seen several that are on Amazon that you can buy between, you know, $50 and $100 with all kinds of features. Some of the ones I like that I think are handy is, number one, you kind of want it, you know, the widest footprint you can get there. Is nice, gives it a little more stability when you have a heavier bike or whatnot. Or number two would be the height adjustment. I'll get kind of the reasons behind that later. But then also if you want a stand that's rotational as well, you know, and that's a feature that most stands actually have, but is probably very underutilized feature there. So that's kind of the basic things. You know, there's lots of little add-ons. You can get little parts, tool trays or whatnot. Yeah, and then your clamp style. This one's just a little, you know, kind of a little knob there that you just turn to cinch the clamps inwards. You know, pretty basic. It's got a rubber, kind of a rubber coated clamp surface there. So, and then, you know, some of them are, you can break them down, you know, so this is where I keep it stored when I'm not using it, my little home repair stand, just fold it up. So yeah, that's a nice feature, that ability to just fold it up there, tuck it out of the way. That's kind of the features. I'd say if you're looking to buy one that you would want to look at. When it comes to putting the bike in the stand, you know, good. You don't want to be lazy. A lot of times you have, you know, you got a bag, a light, things like that, so it just seems more logical and easier to clamp it to the top tube there. But go ahead and remove these bits, undo the bag, and we'll get started there. As far as your height of the clamp, I usually, in general, like to maybe put it around, I don't know, maybe around eye level, somewhere in there. And we're clamped in. So one of the things on the video, you know, I noticed the guy that works on the bikes there, he typically likes to have it kind of horizontal, so to speak, I guess. So, you know, if you're really, I guess, wrenching on it, it can get kind of wobbly. You know, I notice a lot of folks like to use the little, you know, you have it up here as well. Your bars are naturally going to want to kind of turn to the side, you know, you don't want your bars smacking into the top tube. So a little tip I usually use, if you just, you know, undo your rotational feature and just let the bike naturally go to this point, it's going to be fairly balanced in the stand. You don't necessarily need any kind of device to hold the handlebars or anything like that. So yeah, that's basically that. So, you know, the thing with it sitting here and whichever, you know, probably my number one rule is to whatever point you're working on, you always want to just have your arms at a pretty neutral position. So, you know, this would be the perfect height to be working on the rear derailleur, something like that, or, you know, wherever up in this area, general height. So, you know, a feature that I see that gets neglected a lot is the rotational feature. You know, if I'm putting new cables on a bike or something like that, you know, it's you know, it's another thing I'll see guys stooping down and getting down like that. But if you just rotate the stand, you know, just rotate the stand to where, you know, you bring the work to you, don't stoop down to the work. So, you know, it's definitely, you know, this is just kind of a chintzy stand. A professional shop stand is going to be much better as far as supporting the bike in all kinds of different ways. But use the height adjustment, use the rotation for your advantage there. You know, another tip, if you know you're just doing a really quick adjustment, you know, a lot of the stands nowadays have a rubber piece there. You can just hook the nose of the bike there. You know, if you're just doing a quick, you know, maybe you're just looping your chain or doing a quickie something, putting a bottle cage on or whatever. You're not going to be wrenching on it, taking on or off installation of pedals or bottom bracket or stuff like that. So, you know, that's always a quick way to just set it up and take it right off. Another thing, dropper seat posts. You know, I'm working in a shop now, or I have been for a few months, where we do a ton of mountain bike stuff. And so if there's room on the seat post, just clamp it down there on the bottom end. But if you're going to clamp it on the stanchion part of the seat post, just make sure either the rubber part's nice and clean, or just put a shop rag in between there that's going to keep that from getting scratched up.
if I'm installing a dropper post, generally I like to do it with the bike on the ground and then just take an old tow strap or a Velcro strap or something and tie the back wheel and tire assembly to the side of the repair stand. Makes a pretty easy job out of that. Keeps the bike from falling over. Sometimes if I'm doing a brake bleed and I want to keep the front end higher, just gravity and whatnot, want to keep the front end from flopping around, I'll do the same thing with the strap or something there to hold the front wheel straight.
So that's some of my basic tips and things there that I feel like are the most useful to me. So anyway, if you have some of your own tips, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. I'd love to hear. Or if you have any horror nightmare stories of how your bike got damaged in a repair stand, I'd love to hear that as well. So anyways, that's going to do it, and thanks for watching.